though, it's the word. You see the title. Let's talk about it. All right. We're going to get into mine and the 42 ideas. And I'm going to talk about how it helped me. And then I'm going to tell you what it really is. Because when you're looking for information, a lot of times you're running to something and the information seems good, feels good. And then when you get it and start practicing it, you realize it's missing something. So we'll get into that. I'm gonna just give you a brief description of who Maya is. First, we gotta understand this. I'm gonna lay the foundation. Ma'at is not a god. These Egyptians who created the system did not create these deities as gods. They are deities, and if you look into the if you look at a dictionary made before the 1900s, you'll see deity have a different description. So what a deity is a divine principle, and these figures were representation for people to identify with that divine principle. Understanding that, if you look at them, you see they have animal heads with human bodies to represent the significance of the animal, the instinctive nature of the animal, and with a human heart. I'm gonna bring my boy Nervous up here real quick. Hold on. What up, Sean?
What's going on? What's going on?
I'm just giving a brief overview of what Mod is, but yeah, I'm gonna just build on this couple minutes, and then we'll get into the morals. But so that's what Mod was. So it's a divine principle. So the figure is supposed to tell you a story to teach you about the what the figure represented. So Ma'at was justice, Ma'at was virtue, honor, nobility. So I'm telling you this because when you go research it for yourself, if you begin to look at things and they describing Ma'at as a god, like these people really believe Ma'at was somewhere in the sky and come down, you you're wasting your time. It was a divine principle. It was a deity. It was a representation. That's it. But knowing that, we're gonna go into the 42 ideas. I'm gonna run through these real quick because a lot of them is self-explanatory. And let me see, how can I blow that up? Hold on. Okay, the first one is I honor virtue. So what that means, if you understand what virtue is behavior showing high moral standards. So what this meant to me was me being uncorruptible, me standing on my morals and my standards and not wavering. That's what that meant for me. I benefit with gratitude. That's basically being humble. Being humble. When you receive something or you benefit from something, you show gratitude instead of feeling that it was something supposed to happen. It's just being thankful when you benefit. I am peaceful, self-explanatory. I represent the prop. I respect the property of others. I'm sorry, it's a little on my screen too, and I can't even really see. I affirm that all life is sacred. Now, what that meant to me was like all life, all existence was sacred. Like all life had a meaning. I am respectful to the property of others, self explanatory. I affirm that, oh, I already read that. I'm sorry. I give offerings that are genuine. So, meaning you give from the heart. I live in truth. I regard all altars with respect. Now, if you begin to research this, some translation may say God instead of altars. Basically, what it means is I respect all religions, no matter if I practice it or not. I speak with sincerity, self-explanatory. I consume only my fair share. That'd be the equivalent to not being gluttony, not performing gluttony, basically. I offer words of good intent. I mean, you speak highly of people, not highly, but you speak good of people. When you speak to people, you speak good. You don't speak negative things to people. Your intent is positive. Where am I at? I relate in peace. It's self-explanatory, but when you relate to people, is with peace. There's no point of engaging another person unless you have a peaceful or a soft heart. I honor animals with reverence. Again, when we're talking about the animal head on a human body, they showed you how they looked at animals. Like animals are a creation of God, basically. And respecting the perfect creation. Animals are created perfectly. They are designed and they operate perfectly. And they recognize that. So they watch the animals and they learn from the animals. So that's basically what that one is. I can be trusted. I care for the earth. I keep my own counsel. The way I used this was when something occurred, I thought about it first. Instead of acting emotionally, I thought about the situation and I learned how to respond versus how to react. I speak positively of others. I remain in balance with my emotions. That's one that really helped me. I practicing that, being aware of that really helped me. I am trustful in my relationships. Anytime you in a relationship, you hold yourself responsible for being trustworthy, no matter what the other person in the relationship is. That's how I use it. I hold purity in the highest esteem. I spread joy. I do the best I can. I communicate with compassion. I listen to opposing opinions. That's another one. Practicing this helped me understand what people was trying to say. Not only understand what they were saying, but I was able to figure out the intent by being patient, by listening to people. This taught me how to listen to people. I should have had you read these, Sean. I can't. They little. Okay. I create harmony. I invoke laughter. I am open to love in various forms. What that meant to me was the stigma. Like this. Sean is my best friend. It's not my blood, but it's my best friend. And I tell him I love him all the time, right? And this would help me because it's not just um, it's not just me being able to tell somebody, but me being able to express that and accept it from people who aren't my family and not accept the stigma. Like even if I got a female friend and she says she loved me, that don't mean she love me in a sexual way, but love me as a person. That's why I'm able to accept that now. That really helped me too. I am forgiving. I'm gonna hold a video about the power of forgiveness, and I learned it through this practicing. I am kind. I act respectfully of others. I am accepting. I follow my inner guidance. That one was huge too. This practicing this helped me understand my intuition. I should say I understand it now. I converse with awareness. When I'm talking to people, I'm aware of what I'm saying to people and the effect it may have. That's how I use this principle. I do good. I give blessings. I keep waters pure. That's I use that as the universal principle of harmony. And if you've been watching my videos or follow me on IG, I posted it there, so you can see that there. Um, I speak with good intent. I praise goddesses and the gods. My understanding of God and goddesses are creators, and my creators on this heavenly earth is my mother and my father. That's how I use that principle. I am humble. I achieve with integrity, meaning, and we go get into this later, but meaning when I try to achieve goals, I do it with integrity. I won't cut nobody off. I won't step on nobody to get to the next level. I'm gonna achieve it because I'm virtuous. That's why I'm gonna achieve it because I worked hard. I can't even see. Can I blow this up? Let me pull it up because I can't see the last two on my screen. I know what they are, but I don't know all of them by heart.
Let's see.
Let me just pull it up right here. Oh, I can't even see it on here. Can you see those last two, Sean? They're too little. I can't. You know my eye don't work right. I only got half. I only got half an eye, bro. And then looking at it, it's printing so little. Where's the water at?
Let me see.
It was right. I got the. If I was downstairs, sitting right on the wall.
Give me 1 second. The last one, the last two.
Find this in my.
I have not snatched away the bread of the child, nor treated with contempt the god or goddess of my city.
That's too long, bro.
It's too long.
Yeah, that's not the last.
But that's a different one. I tried to pull it up.
I want the show go. Where? Wow.
It was.
Oh, this is my email. I apologize.
I got it. I advanced through my own abilities and
I embrace the all. So, I mean, so like even I achieve with integrity, that's to me it's combined with the I advance with my abilities. But I embrace the all. By that is I accept things for what they are. That's how I embrace the all. But these 42 ideas, the way I practice them, that's how I use them. I actually practice, and any opportunity that I had, always made sure I displayed these attributes. But when you go into study the 42 ideas of my, what's gonna happen is you go run into a couple things. You go see 42 laws of my, then you go see 42 Negative Confessions. The reason that I use the ideals of that verbiage, because when you say law, that means it's something that has to be done. And when you say ideals, it's something you should aspire for. You should reach for these things. But the 42 Negative Confessions, if you want to know exactly what this is, that's what you should study. Because 42 Negative Confessions will take you into a story. And it was a guy named Annie. And Annie was he was a scribe. And in Egyptian time, especially this time, when the noble people, they used to get what they call the Book of the Dead. They would get instructions. It would be like an instruction manual on what they had to do on this plane to get to the next, and they had to pay for this. That's why I said usually only the nobles got this. But Annie was I believe Annie was a scribe, so I believe he wrote his own. But usually, what you have to do is go to a scribe, which is like a seer, and they will sit there and they will see your life, and then they give you 42 negative confessions that must be completed before you die, so you could pass on to the next life. So what happens with this particularly is that this was not, they tell you it's the Egyptian Book of the Dead, which is true, but it's not for everyone. It was specifically tailored to Annie, meaning these are his negative confessions. So every person who had one would be different, but this was the only one that they found whole. All the other ones was in pieces. And I'm just being real. What they did with it is they figured they can market off of it. And they turned it into something that they felt all people would buy. Because, okay, these are the Egyptians. They had high knowledge. This is what they say you had to do to go to the afterlife. Right. So instead of just telling the truth, and you can find it, but when you research it, I promise you, if you look at this and they say it came from the Egyptian Book of the Dead, it was only a papyrus scroll and it was written for a specific person. And when they found older ones or other ones, they wasn't complete. But everyone had different negative confessions or different things to do. Because what happens is when you go to the afterlife, you go to a spot and this goddess Ma'at will take one of her feathers out and put it on the scale. And they'll take your heart out and put it on the scale. And if your heart was lighter than the feather, you go to the afterlife. If it wasn't, then your soul will be devoured by Sabak or Sabak or Sumak. However you want to pronounce it. There's different ways to say it. But that's what happened. So after practicing these for like a year or two, I found out the truth. But these are still usable to obtain inner peace. And that's simply what I used it for. But this is not tailored for everyone. It was specifically tailored to Annie. And like I said, it's more lucrative if you sold it as an Egyptian Book of the Dead versus, well, yeah, this is what they did, but this was specifically tailored to Annie. So technically everyone to have something different because it was, everyone is different. So these were the things that he had to achieve. So in my opinion, I look at it as these are the things that he was weak at. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the 42 ideas of my ideas, and that's how I personally use them. But like I said, people tailor it to the point, oh, this came from the Egyptian Book of the Dead, and this is what you have to do, and it's really not. But if you look at them, if you look at it, this is stuff that all people can aspire to. And maybe a lot of us do some of it, maybe a lot of us don't. but practicing it helped me. And I guess being naive about it at first, being ignorant about it at first, that also helped me. But even once I knew, hey, but once I figured out and knew what it was, it still helped me build morals, values, which in turn built my character. Some of these things I still do. And the way I'm reminded is, saying, my art. I'm practicing my art. And that's how I'm reminded to, or that's how a lot of times I hold my tongue. It's like remembering if you like, I can't even say it now, but my mom wouldn't let me, and she listening right now, but she wouldn't let me say the word punk. Right. Every time I said punk, she'd slap me. I'm probably gonna get slapped twice in the mouth when she see me, but I couldn't say it. And even now, when I think about saying it, the first thing I think about is my mom. So that's why I practice this, because it's in my subconscious. And before I do something, I'll be reminded of it. And a lot of times people will come and yeah, they know all this. They didn't know what it means, but they do practice it. That's the thing. Like with all these religions, I practice it. Yeah, that is my mom. Look, that's my sister. And this is my mom. Yeah, I owe you. Hey, you in Ohio, I'm straight for a minute. And when you come back, you'll be too happy to see the baby, so you ain't gonna be thinking about that. But that's how I practice my art, man. And that's what it did for me. Honestly, it gave me something to aspire to. It gave me something to think about. It gave me something to hold on to. And when I was looking for something, this helped me. But that's my art in a nutshell. But I have my boy Nervous Knowledge on here, and we're going to talk about morals and values. We had a discussion today, and it was kind of deep. And I think a lot of that was missing, our morals and values. I don't believe a lot of people even understand the concept of morals and values. Because if you look in the world, or maybe, I don't know. I just don't believe people really have morals and values no more. I just really don't. And I think because it's not pushed as a practice, it's not taught, and it's not demanded.
Mm-hmm.
I think the generation that's out there now, which was probably fathered and mothered by my generation, I just waited till I got old to have kids. But, most of my friends, they kids, teenagers, a couple of them, 18, 19. And so I blame it on my generation, right? I mean, it wasn't forced. I'm not going to say forced. It wasn't enforced, I say. They didn't enforce the fact that your kids had to display these things. Like when my mom came on here, she told stories about, how like she went when we was both working at the hospital and people walked around and, said nothing but good things about me. And that's because my mom, like I said, I couldn't even say that word. My mom, taught me morals and values. My grandmother, my dad, my uncles, my aunties, they made sure when they made sure when they told me when I walk out of here, I don't only represent myself, but I represent the family. And I was always aware of that, especially now as an adult. With some years that went past that I don't even remember, but But what's your understanding of morals and values? Because you are that generation under me.
Ooh, what is morals and values? Bonnie, you want to speak on this?
Hey, money, I didn't even know. My bad.
You're fine. I feel like morals and values are something that's usually instilled. I mean, you gain them throughout experience too, but like you said, you were told that when you leave the house, you not only represent yourself, you represent, your family. That's something that your family put into you. So as you continue to grow and get older, you start to realize how important it is. The lessons that you learn have helped shape your values, what you actually think is important to you, and the things that you learn or how you see certain things. So I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
it's something that's instilled in you in a sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna touch on this a little bit. You brought up the aspect of family. It's like we have to understand what family is now and how deep family goes now. Like, for example, you have kids being taught by kids in a way. You no longer have that big mama in the household, if that makes sense, or that older brother or older sister in the household for real, because now it has changed. Older sister and older brother is no longer in the house, where older brother and older sister is doing their thing. At your time period, it's more so older brother and older sister was in the house teaching you these things, and if mom and dad wasn't home because mom and dad was working. But then when mom and dad was home, they were still teaching you these things. And now if you look at the world, it's no longer that way. It's mom and dad is gone because they got to work, and then older brother and older sister is working, or whatever the case may be. So now it's like you being taught by other kids in a way, if that makes sense.
Yep. And check this out. You know how my brain works. You want to hear something deep? Y'all just said something that triggered, like sparked a thing in my brain. All right. So when we talk about slavery, right, we talk about how they were able to take the chains off and allow us to think that we're free, but still enslave us, right? Like, if you look at the way everything is ran now, the only difference is you're not getting brutalized, but you still living under the same structure and rule. And if you look at what you just said, that's still some of the same tactics that was used. Because during slavery times, they used to cut the baby out of the
Not
mother.
really.
You said what? Oh, but during slavery times, they used to cut the baby out of the mother and have kids raise the child. That's how they got rid of all the adults. That's how they took away the language. That's how they took away the knowledge of self, because it was kids raising kids for a couple generations.
Mm-hmm.
And now, when you think about it, like you just said, it's kids raising kids again. It's just a different tactic, a different way they were able to establish the same results. So when you look at it from, like what you said, a generational standpoint, yeah, it's kids raising kids. And they don't have, like you said, that big mom no more. She out of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think morals can be picked up. I don't think, especially as an adult, because now you're older, you got more understanding. And like looking at the 42 ideas of Ma'at, a lot of those are morals, all of them basically. They're morals. So it's something that can be picked up, but it has to be wanted. Like if someone doesn't want to be a good person, they're not going to be a good person. If someone doesn't want to Strive. If the person don't want to get up and go to work, they're not gonna get up and go to work. This is something that has to be desired. You have to have a desire to become better. And life gives you opportunities. Like I said, when I'm presented with an opportunity to display one of these ideas, I relish it
Mhm.
because I can say this all day that I do all this stuff. I can say it all day. Okay, I am virtuous. I am respectful. I'm this. But if I never get a chance to display it, am I really?
Mhm.
So that's why I say here, a lot of people talk this, that, but it's what they do. That's why they say actions. It don't matter what you say, is what you do. So life giving you the opportunity to actually put these into practice, that's what I think people need to focus on. So next time somebody piss you off, to see if you can be the bigger man and walk away. We don't do that. We do the opposite. That's why so much destruction and chaos.
Mhm.
Like anybody, everything is a choice in life. I don't care how you try to explain it. Everything is a choice. Is either made by you or somebody else, but it's a choice. Everything is a choice. So understanding that we actually have power to create things. We have to do the right thing. We have that power, and we don't utilize it the right way because we don't even understand it. Because a lot of times, like I said, if you don't make it, someone will make it for you. And people influence other people all the time using fear, using money. People influence fame. People influence people all the time.
Mhm.
So, like when we was talking earlier, when you said, "Do you think a job can change your morals?"
Mhm.
You want to expound on that?
Um, let's see. So the question that I asked earlier was, do you think a job can change your morals? I mean, I, mm,
Just speak from your experience. Speak from what you say. Don't try to don't no don't try to debate me. Don't try to find an answer because you know what I'm gonna do.
well, I mean, it's a yes and no answer for me. I'm like in between because you can go in a job and like you adapt to the situations around you. Like you can adapt to the more like you can adapt to different people and you start changing because of the people that you're around. Like I'm trying to find an example. Like, okay, I use environmental service since I worked in environmental service. It's like,
Let me interrupt you 1 second.
mhm.
Hey, doctor, if you want to come up here, I think this is a safe subject. There's a doctor in the building. I was see if she come up. Now that'd be a fun sparring match. Well, go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say, okay, so like when I used to work in environmental service, like I came in and I've noticed like I've changed a lot. Like I was this positive kid all day, every day, and then I got around like older people and they just had like a negative aspect about everything. And then I slowly started adapting to their situation and changing a little bit. And then when I got upstairs with you, it was like a completely different, you know, situation going on. It's like you started showing positive and everything started changing positively for me. So I guess I would say yes and no, if that makes sense.
But
That's
that's
a good example. I feel like personally being in the medical field, like my morals in a sense changed. Like look at the whole thing with abortions. Before, when I was younger, it was kind of just always abortions was wrong. you know, you got to deal with whatever consequences. You decide to lay down and not protect yourself, then you got to deal with the consequences, whatever, whatever. But then as I got older, start seeing people go through life and then get in the medical field, and you learn that, sometimes it's not about just dealing with consequences. It's about where I'm at in this life. I know I'm not ready to have a child, or simply I don't want to have a child. And so in the aspect of that mindset, it became like, an abortion is based on where people are in life. Like, I can't say you wrong for going and getting rid of your child, because I don't know your walk of life. I don't know what you've been through. I don't know what you're dealing with. I don't know what you're going through. So therefore, who am I to judge you by saying this is wrong?
And true. And see, this is how I look at it too, though. My moral values aren't anyone's but mine, right? So I get to a point where, like, even studying my is like I don't judge people, right? I rather figure them out and understand the person, and by doing that, I understand if I can deal with them or if I can't. But I'm not judging. If I decide not to deal with them, that's because it's for the betterment of me. It's not because they're a bad person. Because I know some good people. It's like I just don't vibe with them, but they not bad people. You know what I'm saying? It's just like relationships. Like I have to be able. It should be energy should be exchanged, and it shouldn't be less or more. And if I can't do that with a person, I decide not to. I don't have to have a relationship, but I still respect them.
Mm-hmm.
So like judging, like when it comes to like that abortion thing, like I don't look at what I would do. I never look at a person and say, just like, you know, a part of my life, I was in the, I guess you want to call it in the street, right? And now I'm not, but I don't look down on the, on, 'cause I understand there's no point in me judging because I understand the trials and tribulations people go through. So if I can't do nothing to help, I'm not going to bother 'em. You know what I'm saying? Like if someone practices something that I don't believe in, I don't disturb them,
Right.
even if I know it's good or bad. But that's just my morals. I don't like use I like a lot of times. A lot of people use their morals and gauge them against other people. And that becomes an issue with people. Like I don't take my morals and gauge them to another person and see if they match up or if they good enough. I look at the person as a whole, and if I can have a positive relationship with them, I do it. If not, then I walk away. But I want to say one thing to what you said, Sean, when you said, because that's another way you can be influenced is environmental also. So being in a space or area like that, a lot of times people, it is you either adapt to the situation or the situation adapt to you. So like you seen when you came upstairs, like they adapted to me. And when that stopped happening, what did I do? I left. I'm straight. This is no longer a good environment for me.
Yeah.
And when I say adapted to me, I'm talking about we all was good. We all worked together. We all got along. You had some people you won't, but when the environment changed and I couldn't affect it in a way that I can be sustained in it, then I left. And that's what I do with any situation. I'm straight.
Mhm.
I'm not about to let the environment affect. I've been through that. I learned from that already. I don't need that experience again. So no, my environment will no longer affect me. I will only affect the environment, and that's how I go.
Mhm. So,
Hey, Selena.
so with morals, You know how you have morals in a company, but over time, do you think you tend to lose those morals?
I can honestly, like me personally, I say in the past my morals changed, but I don't see that happening again. And the reason why it changed is because I didn't understand. But I guess they can change if I come into more knowledge, and there's a reason for them to change. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna let a sit like when I did. We was talking about earlier when I did real estate. It's like I'm not about to cutthroat nobody to be successful in this. I'd rather not do it. Or I found another way to do it that I didn't have to hurt other people or jeopardize other people.
Mm-hmm.
But I know people who they don't care. They want that money and they go do whatever. And they more ruthless than some street people, bro. Like the stuff they do. I've seen a real estate agent get another one arrested, so just so they can get the sale of a house. Like purposely got him arrested, got him drunk and told him to drive, bro, and laughed about it because the next day it was a client coming in and he wanted to be the agent to get it. I seen that. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm not about to do nothing like that.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm.
But people do stuff like that for money. I want the doctor to come up here. I want to hear her explanation of morals. But I honestly, I think we need to like. That's why I use my because it was, and that's why I still use it because it's a good reference. You know, for me, it's a good reference. It's something to look at and something to inspire for. But that's why I use the term ideas. I don't use the law because when you start thinking as a law, it's like you have to do this. And there's a whole other mindset to that. Like words, if you believe it or not, if you want to accept it or not, words are spells. They give you perception, they affect emotions. Words are literally spells. So, like when you look at the word law versus the word ideal, you get two different emotional effects from that. You get two different understandings of what this is.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of looking at something like I'm forced to do it, you know, I will. It's easier for me to achieve looking at it as if I'm working towards this. Like I'm not perfect, right? I know I'm gonna mess up, but it's giving me something to look forward. I mean, to grasp for. That's what it's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, and it's just to understand, and it's not nothing pseudo. It's not nothing like if you study Christianity, they tell you anything out of Christianity is the devil's work, right? Basically, any system outside of that is not of God. This is God's religion. That's what they teach you. So practicing this is not going against Christianity. It's building your character. Like what is bad in these 42 ideas? What is it? Is any of these breaking the Ten Commandments? So that's what I tell people. You have an internal battle. And a lot of it is confusing because we've been confused. Bro, look, let me show you something. You want to see something crazy? Are we talking about like symbolism and stuff? Hold on, bro. Let me show you something crazy. So, you know what the swastika is, right? Sean, you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
What happened? You dropped down?
No, my internet connection Once it hit a certain time period, internet connection start acting up.
Bro, I ain't even gonna ask you where you at. Hit that. Bro, why didn't it? I wanted to show you something crazy while we was talking about symbols. Hold on, I got it in my. I think it's in my email. Bro, I gotta figure out a better way to do this. That's why I can't really do no videos because I gotta get all my slides over to one spot.
Okay.
And okay, here we go. So you know what the swastika is, right?
Yes.
And that was prevalent in what in the 1920s, 1930s with the Nazi Party, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where they got that from?
I do not.
That's why I say, like, a lot of the information and symbols and stuff, they take them and pervert them to keep you away from them. Because once you start seeing them and start understanding, you will see the messages that was left for us to come back into the understanding and knowledge, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about the swastika, that was supposed to be a Nazi symbol, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see this, right?
Wow.
This is from Ethiopia, right? This is on the tribesmen of Congo. They got it right here on China. In China. In Japan, they used it. This is in Lebanon, and this is in Tibet. Do you know? Only now, if you look at this symbol and you look at the swastika, the only thing different is it's tilted. It's just tilted a little bit. But do you know what this represents? That's what I'm saying, bro. They be perverting knowledge, bro, and we don't look at it. We don't study it. Hold on, bro. Let me show you what that is. What it really is. What it represents. And it's something so simple. Why did it make me go all the way out? See, I'm still learning how to do this. If I know how to do my slides, boy, I'm gonna be so smooth in here, going through all this info. That's what it is.
Nice.
Do you see that, right? That's the Big Dipper, bro. That's the Big Dipper rotating around the North Star. It takes you into the seasons, into the solstices, into the equinox. And what it is four 90-degree angles. Four
Mhm.
times 90 is what? 360, which is the complete cycle. It's showing you the cycle of time. That's what this is. And they perverted it.
Okay. Interesting.
So it's so many other things. That's why I say, like, even if you look at the Pope, right? If you look at the Catholics, right? They
Mm-hmm.
they rock around just like the pharaohs from Egypt, right? If you look at, you know what an obelisk is, right?
Um.
That's the. Hold on, I don't know if I got that. I don't know if I sent it over. What did I do? I did something else. Okay, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, bro. I don't think I sent that over. But obelisk is. Well, I can Google it, can
Hmm.
I? Yeah, they can know what I'm doing now. No, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. wow, I can't pull it up. Oh yeah, I can. Hold on. Can you see that?
Yes.
That's the Washington Monument. The way Abraham Lincoln is sitting in the Lincoln Monument is the same position Pharaoh was sitting, Osiris sitting in his chair. The symbolism is everywhere. On the back of your dollar, there's a symbol of an eagle and holding an arrow and something else on his other foot. But the symbol of Kemet or Egypt is a hawk doing the same thing, holding two arms. It's the same thing. But they say the Egyptians were so bad. Even about this, like people say, when you die, you go ashes to ashes, dust to dust, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you go back into the earth. Now watch this. If you go ash, how you gonna go back to the earth if you're in a casket that's in a crypt? How do you go back to the earth? You don't. You don't even turn to ashes and dust because they embalm your body. That's all Egyptian, bro. The way people get buried now, the Egyptians created that. That's their spiritual belief. That has nothing to do with the Bible. Like if you look at the Jewish people, they put you in a biodegradable bag and throw you in the dirt. You literally go back to the earth. They bury you within 1 day. They don't embalm the bodies. But how are you going to go back to the earth if you're in a casket that's in a tomb? That's what the Egyptians do. They put you in a casket and then they slide you into a tomb. They tell you all these bad things to keep you away. And now they even got trying to redo Nefertiti and making her a European woman. Like it wasn't even Europeans in that part of Africa at the time. They came in from Rome.
Mm.
Like that's Africa, bro. Like if you look at the paintings on the wall, they all brown and dark people. Where are you getting these Europeans from?
Yeah.
Why would you do this? Why are you trying to keep people away from it? That's what you should, but you're using it. You're keeping one group of people away from it, but you're using it to your benefit. Like the Chrysler symbols, bro. Do you know that's the wings of Ma'at?
No, I didn't.
Bro, I could like the Starbucks symbol. That's an African goddess called Yeminya. Bro, it's symbols, bro. Symbols evoke emotions. That's why they use symbols. That's why symbols are used. Is because they emote colors do the same thing, bro. Sound, words, all these are different ways to affect the emotional aspect of a person.
Yeah.
So, like when you see the Nazi sign, people fear it, but they were not the originators of it. That's not they took it and perverted it. Like even like the Pope garb, even the way the Pope wear the garb, that's like an Egyptian pharaoh.
Mm-hmm.
Even like they walk around with the cross. That's an In fact, the cross represents death, right? When you look at a cross, what do you think about? You think about the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ dying. When you look at the it's telling you about life. And if we use let's use common sense for 1 second, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you think about, okay, look, I'm gonna put myself in a scenario, right? Or put yourself in a scenario. If your brother sacrificed or a loved one of yours sacrificed himself would you use what killed him as a remembrance of him?
No.
So why do we do it? That's like kind of mocking, man. Well, this is to nah, man. We condition, man. It's so much. Think about this, right? We're gonna use common sense. If a person eats a body and drinks blood, would they not be considered a cannibal? Then you gonna mute them?
I'm sorry. Say that one more time. I'm so sorry.
If a person eats a body
Mm-hmm.
and a person drinks blood, would you consider that as cannibalism?
Technically, yes.
Okay, so mimicking it, would you mimic that? Would you mimic eating a person's body and drinking a person's blood? Would you mimic that?
I mean, ooh, technicalities we do.
No, y'all do. I don't. I ain't no cannibal, bro, and I ain't about to play like one. I'm straight. I did it when I was ignorant, but now that I use common sense, it does not make sense. We have to be honest about these things, man. We have to be honest. You're mimicking cannibalism, bro. The whole understanding of Easter eggs, bro, came from the Catholic Church. You don't want to know what they did back in the day, how they dyed eggs to represent fertility.
Mm-hmm.
They killed babies, bro, and used the blood to dye the eggs. And this was before the Catholics were Catholics. This is still when Constantine was merging the two religions of Midriff and Christianity. That's why you got before Constantine, you didn't have no idols in Christianity. There was no crosses. None of that existed.
Mm-hmm.
Not as a idol. It existed as a symbol, but not an idol. People didn't idolize it, but they used it as a symbol. But once Constantine took over, that's why people got to study. Once Constantine took over, he did a lot of different things. The Council of Nicene, you need to study that. It's 4 different councils that you need to study, but the first one, to get an understanding of what occurred, you got to look at the Council of Nicene.
Mm-hmm.
And then you will begin to understand why things was changed and why things was perverted. It was for power. Same reasons they do it now. When I was growing up, gay meant happy. It wasn't a group of people. It literally meant happy. You can buy books, and in the literature it said the man was gay, but it did not mean he was liking the same sex. It meant he was happy.
Mm-hmm.
So just like things changed right in our face, things changed back then too, to benefit the structure that was currently in place. That's the best way I can put it. Things are subject to change to benefit the structure that's in place. You saying that in the hospital work. So imagine it. Where do you think they got the blueprint from? So like when we talking about morals, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
If you're trying to survive, it's hard. Because a lot of times you might have to do something that you don't morally believe in. But then it's like with me, at my age, I'm straight. I'm straight. When I was younger, I did, but right now I'm straight. I just won't do it.
Mm-hmm.
You look. You don't want to build off that, bro?
Honestly, I'm learning. I'm taking it all in. Because for me, like it's points in your career, and I hate to say it like this, but it's points in your career where morally, because depending on your manager, they kind of play that game with you of your morals. Like it's a doggy, it's a cutthroat world out here. It's your morals can be perfectly in line, but if they morals is cutthroat, they're gonna force you to do cutthroat things, or you won't have a job. In so many words,
Hey, bro, no, speak your truth, because this is what we doing. We building, right? We learning from each other, because it's an experience in life that you have that I won't. I will never be on your level in business. I won't. You know what I'm saying? So you can give me insight. You can get a people insight. Just like it's things in life I did. That's why I have the perspective I have. Like, I'm not telling nobody the way I live or the way I think is the right way for them. No, it's just right for me, and I'm sharing. You might can take out of this whole video we've been on for an hour. You might can take 2 minutes out of this and be like, okay, I'm cool with that. That's what I needed, and be done. And I'm grateful that you even took the time for the 2 minutes. You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, it might just be one thing. Like, out of these 42 things, somebody can look at it like, I take this one, and this one. I'm good. I don't need the rest. And that's fine. I'm just here to share. That's what you're doing. You're sharing, because it might be somebody who in a position that you in, or might be trying to get into the position that you in, and the information you're giving now might help them. So that's what we do. We come on here, we build, and it's different ways to the same salute. I mean, it's different. You can take different routes to get to the same destination, and that's what we doing. You see, so that's why I said talk your. I can't cuss my mom on here. I'm already getting smacked twice, bro. But no, go ahead and tell, and just give us some insight on your experiences in business.
Okay.
Because yeah, just do that, bro. Don't try to spar with me. We ain't sparring. We'll do that later.
Like, okay, from the inside of business, it's cutthroat. It's no matter how you look at it, it's cutthroat because everybody's trying to get to a certain point in business. It's always who's the next hottest thing, who's the biggest thing, who can I get to replace this person? It's cutthroat. If your boss is out there, and I've been in positions where morally some things just don't align. Like it's things that I want, I don't like doing, and I know myself now. Like what I was doing to make a sale or whatever the case may be, I didn't like it. That's why I got out of that sales and commission role. Then I went over into another role, and it's like it's the constant same thing. Like my morals change because of the company that I work for. So it's like when I went into the door, it wasn't my morals was I'm not trying to sell on my people, or I'm not trying to do this, or I'm not trying to do that. And my paycheck was affected by that. And it's like, okay, well, in order for me to have a good month, I got to do these things. This is what the company wants in order for me to make this type of money. And it's like, when you got a family to feed, you start thinking about that, like, okay, morally, I don't like doing this, but I have to feed my family. Then you start getting to a point where it's like, okay, I don't know if I can do this anymore. Then you switch out into something else. And that's what I did. I switched out into something else. And morally, I've sat back and I looked at it just like, man, this wasn't good. This was not, the best move. Was I supposed to be there for that season? But I had to learn this. And that's why I'm glad I got the chance to learn this and see this. This is the game that company plays with you. If you want a paycheck, they dangle a carrot over you and tell you you're gonna change your morals based on this. If you want this paycheck at the end of every 2 weeks, you're gonna change your morals. I don't care what your morals are. You're gonna believe what my morals are. You're gonna conform to what I want you to conform to. And it's so tough. It's so tough, but we get into that, oh well, I want to switch jobs, but then you start realizing, okay, this one job is paying me XYZ, but I can't go over here and make the same amount of money. So I gotta hold tight. And then you get into that conflicting war. And it goes back to you pretty much gotta center yourself and say, okay, well, how can I make this align with my morals? How can I force these things to align with my morals? Like now, I don't even get into the whole moral conversation anymore. Like I go into work now and it's a whole different conversation. Like I'm there for 8 hours. It is what it is. If I can get through the first half, I can make it through the second half. If I get through the second half, I know 5 o'clock is right around the corner. And it's like, I hate to be that way, but this is how I got to get through the day, if that makes sense.
So is that why you were saying, can a career become a job? Like
Yeah.
almost emotionally. Like now I see what you were saying. Like can a career, but that's still an emotional factor because you do have a career, but is the career is feeling like a job because you're not. I just because I think you have that internal battle with what you have to do to make money versus how you want to be as a human. And that's the conflict I had. Like when they was saying, like when they was telling me about gray lines when I was doing life insurance, they telling me about the gray lines, and I'm looking like, bro, them ain't gray lines, bro. That's crossing the line to me. No, I ain't about to do that. I'm straight. Well, if you want to be successful in this, this is just something. Well, I'm gonna try it my way. And at first, it didn't really. I wasn't successful in it at first because they were training me, and the positions they was putting me in was to do it their way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I found my own way to do it. And once I did that, I was all right. But that's how I conform. And for 2 months straight, I was the top seller. I wasn't even using their leads. I was getting my own leads. I was finding my own people. I was finding people to help versus them giving me a list of people and me calling. No, I'm straight. I ain't about to do all that. I know how to talk to people. I went out and talked to people. I went and found the people who need help. And that's how I worked that. But see, I had that ability because I was an independent contractor.
Mm-hmm.
I work with this company. I don't work for it. So it's not like I was restricted from doing anything or going anywhere. I had no restriction. I just couldn't solicit people who already had agents with our company. That's the only thing I couldn't do. And I couldn't solicit like at a hospital. I couldn't go to a hospital unless I had permission from the hospital. Then I can sit in there all day and talk to people. But I couldn't go to a hospital, and I couldn't go to people who was already signed under an agent with our company. Them the only two restrictions that I had. And when I learned that, I'm like, hold on, bro, I'm straight. And not only did I sell life insurance, but I sold Medicare. So a lot of times you run into a person 65 and older and ask them, do they need help with their Medicare? Because you can renew a different plan every year. And then you start talking to them about life insurance. I got a client, and guess what? They got family members. And when I meet people, I'm personable. So, oh my God, I got porn bomb, bro.
No, man.
That's wild. But yes, but go ahead.
I was gonna say, see, that's the difference. Like when you work in corporate America, you pretty much expendable. But when you a independent contractor, you kind of play by your own rules, and that's where you're more like you can walk in the door and your morals, what you have as morals, will change due to your company because your company may go in that direction. This might be the only. Well, I hate to say it, but you get comfortable. Like your way of living gets comfortable. If you used to a certain type of paycheck at every 2 weeks, at any given moment, that's taken away from you. And if you got kids and a whole family to take care of, it's like, I can't let that happen. So it's like you try to find that balance, and it's like, okay, how can I make this work? How can I make this work? Then it started becoming feeling like a job because now your morals have changed dramatically.
And see, you know what I did? Like I said, when we was at the hospital, I seen all that change. I'm like, I'm straight. I put myself in a position because what did I do? First, I went into real estate, independent contractor. Then I went into life insurance, independent contractor. So I took myself out of that structure. I took myself out of it, and I betted on myself. That's the thing. I had to bet on myself because if I don't put those jobs, I can't. When I go into the office, it's not me punching the clock. The office is simply there for resources. I don't get paid for going. I don't get paid unless I'm successful at signing a contract, getting this contract signed. Both jobs. If it's to sell a house, if it's to buy a house, if it's to sell life insurance, if it's to sign them up for an annuity, or if it's to sell them health insurance. If I don't get a contract signed, I don't get paid. So I had to bet on myself.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So that's another thing. You know, money. Like when I said, they will influence can change your morals.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be money, it can be an environment, it can be a person. Like even on like I consider YouTube an environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can go into one chat and like somebody might come in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
We in here chilling, talking all positive. Then you can go into another chat and they beefing. You know, you can be influenced by either one of those. You know, which one are you gonna be influenced by the most though?
Mm-hmm.
And because this is YouTube, people don't think that affect their morals, but it does. Because to even okay, would you sit? Would you sit and listen to someone who beat women?
No,
Why not?
because I'm not a person who condones violence towards women. I'm not a person who condones violence, period.
Okay, so something that's against your morals.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's an extreme, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you sit in a room listening to someone who cheated or lied or
No,
been proven as a liar?
no.
But we do it every day. Not even if you're not on YouTube, but if you watch TV, if you listen to music,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know these people, and they lying to you, bro. Anything that's given to you in a program structure, you don't know these people, and a lot of them are messed up. How many times do we see? Like, look at R. Kelly, bro. Everybody been running around screaming R. Kelly, R. Kelly, R. Kelly. Even if he ain't guilty, what he got locked up for, bro, you peed on a little kid, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's crazy, man. I can't rock with you. Something wrong with you, bro.
Yeah.
I don't care how good your music. I love R. Kelly music. After that, I never listened to it, bro. And I don't judge nobody who do. I'm not judging nobody who do. I'm saying me personally. I choose not to listen to it because of what he did. I don't care if he's not guilty of what he's currently locked up for. Me personally, I cannot. I don't. I have nothing. I don't care if anybody else do. Honestly, I really it don't. I'm just not doing it. But if
Mhm.
somebody say they love R. Kelly, I don't judge them because my morals are not theirs. It's
Yeah,
that's my choice.
it's true. It's true.
And that was kind of an extreme too. But every day we do it, bro. And but when I found out that I have to, that's why even some people at the hospital, I just didn't rock with. Like, nah, man, I don't rock with them. Oh, they cool, nah, bro. I know something you don't know, and I ain't trying to put nobody on blast. It's just me personally. I can't deal with it. I won't. But that's just me though, bro. And like I said, I don't judge nobody else on what they do, the form of entertainment they enjoy. I don't. But like, if you ask me, then that's for me. I gotta tell you how I feel about it. But if you don't ask me, I don't. I don't usually offer it. But just me personally, it's just some things that I can't. Me personally, I can't do. But if somebody else do it, it's fine. Because like I understand, like when you go into a job, like you just said, I got a family to feed, bro. I got a family to feed. I got bills to pay. I done bust my butt, went to school 4 years for this, 6 years for this, 8 years for this, 12, 14 years for this. Okay, I got to play by the rules if I want to be successful in this. I understand that. That's why I don't judge it. But it's just not for me. I can't do it. I'm rebellious, bro. I'm a bull, man. I'm a Taurus. So, like when I see, just sometimes when I see people, everybody going one way, I go the opposite way on purpose, bro. That's just me. But no, I don't judge the way nobody conduct or live their life. That's part of my art, man. I don't judge nobody. I let people be them. I respect all altars. I'm straight. People go beat up. I appreciate the variety of people too. I appreciate people doing different things because if they didn't, I couldn't look at them and study it and try to understand it. You still there, Sean? Oh, I didn't put him to sleep. Sean, you still there? Yeah. I'm trying to see if this doctor want to come up, but you still there, doc? That's my little sister, and that's like my intellectual sparring buddy. But I don't think she will come up here and do it. She's professional now. But yeah, people. I want to thank my boy for coming through. I think I put him to sleep, but that's all right. And I want to thank everybody for stopping by. Do me a favor if you're watching this video on playback, hit the like button for me. I'm a small channel trying to grow. I'm trying to build with people. So if you hear me talking about something that you want to build on, feel free. Put the notification on that way. When I go live, you have the opportunity to come up here and talk, or you could put it in the chat. Um, that's all I got for you. I'm gonna end this show. But like I said, take the opportunity to hit that notification bell and build with me. I'm usually going late at night because I got a family. I do the family thing. I try to wait till they sleep, so I can give y'all my time. But if you got an issue or it's just something that you want to talk about, feel free to contact me. We'll build a panel and we'll talk about it. I'm here to build. But that's all I got for y'all. I'm the word, man. Y'all take it easy.